Okay, Monday morning, so I guess we'll be doing this for about a week now, and the Kaiser Half Marathon is also about a week away, so including today. So I've got less than 7 days before I'm supposed to be running. Now, I know I make it sound like a big deal. I've run the Kaiser a number of times, and the half certainly isn't my longest distance. I've done a few marathons. And I have in the past been pretty comfortable with minimal training, finishing that distance with a reasonable time, under 2 hours, but not quite getting to like a 1:45, staying in that 1:45 to 2 hour range, often around the 1:50 mark. But I want to get under, and every time I do a half and I don't get under the 1:45, it kind of chips away a little bit at me. So I've really been hoping to get myself in a position where I can run a fast one like the KP half in good shape and really push myself a bit. It's not going to be this year for sure. I have not been able to get in any distance at all, and I'm not going to make any excuses, but I'll just say, look, life is busy when you have a 4-year-old and, work and bills and everything else you need to deal with, and so it's cool. I just need to cut myself some slack, as my darling keeps telling me, and I'm starting to listen to her laugh. So maybe just a 5K, we'll see. Speaking of 5Ks, I just did my regular morning 5K on the treadmill. I pushed it a bit this morning because I knew I couldn't stretch the distance because of time, which reminds me I have to wrap this up. But I was able to get the pace down. You can see the Garmin here. What have I got, a 725? Yeah, you can read that. Yeah, it says the 312 distance, so just over 5K distance on the Garmin, and a 725 average. Running the last half mile or so at about a 6:15 minute pace. With 1 degree of elevation. I should probably be really running 2 degrees of elevation to push myself a little harder, but to be honest, I'm really concerned about my knee, which I don't know if I brought this up in these videos so far, but I really banged up a lateral tendon with a really nasty shear force landing coming off an obstacle during the San Francisco Urban Athlon, and my left knee has not been the same since. It's taken 3-4 months now of rest, ice, elevation, stretching, and slowly building my run back up to the point where I'm back to a daily 5K. So anyway, enough yap. The good news is it's a little greasy and slippery inside because of the perspiration inside my socket, but the rotational control seems to be in reasonably good shape. I do feel the moisture in there, but I think as I train and I lose water weight and I perspire less, it'll become less and less of a problem, so that might bode well for the future. And then hopefully toying around with different densities and amounts of foam in the bottom will be enough to wick up that perspiration that comes out of that 7 or 8 inches of residual lymph that's inside the sorting cup. Okay, thanks all, and I will talk to you next time.